could be the LeBlanc that they go to, but and it looks like it is going to be, but basically LeBlanc and Echo fit very similar style. It's about coming in on these flanks and making sure that you're able to just not allow top esports to get these nice little setups where they can poke from afar and have a strong front to back style.
Well, I mean, Vici have exactly that, right? Just straight up front to back, where you've got 3 basically tanks across the team, and then you've got your 2 standard carries in your LeBlanc and your Misfortune. LeBlanc going to be looking to cause a little bit more of a ruckus and look for some picks, look for some assassinations, whereas Misfortune very much just wants to set up with the bullet time behind everyone and get the big old team.
Looking more at like, okay, cool, well, who has vision control? Are we able to get Hecarim and LeBlanc coming in from these angles that are just making it uncomfortable for top esports to approach these objectives ahead of Vici? Like, Vici looking a bit shy, not confident in their ability to take a lot of these scraps. And in that regard, if we get to those mid-game fights, I'm still giving it to top esports. But I want to see if Vici can maybe threaten with this nice little combination that they have on their side.
We'll have to wait and see. I'm just listening to the crowd. I get excited every time I get to hear it. We are going to see iBoy running this Comet on the Misfortune that has been more standard recently. I love to see both mid laners running with that Electrocute, so a little bit more kill threat. Potentially could see some 1v1, because we've seen FoFo and Knight are pretty happy to go toe-to-toe with one another. It does feel like there's a reasonable amount of reputation on the line between these two guys. And while I agree that LeBlanc has the advantage, this is to some extent a skill matchup in the mid lane as well. There's certainly room for error, and both of these players are more than willing to punish an error.
Yeah, and honestly, the reason why you end up seeing Knight opt in towards the likes of the Electrocute here versus like the phase rush that you sometimes see or anything along that line is that because LeBlanc plays this matchup so aggressive where she's constantly trying to trade, you want that Electrocute to try and proc it back very easily, but also opens up into like Ravenous Hunter and Taste of Blood for Knight, so he can start to heal up a lot more and at least go toe-to-toe with FoFo. I was curious to see if he'd actually go for the secondary into Inspiration, get the Corrupting Pot, Time Warp Tonic, and then you got even more sustain here, but he could even just take the Doran's Ring and then opt in towards a Corrupting Pot off of the level 3, level 4 back the, or sorry, the level, say 4 minute mark, where both FoFo and Knight will probably back and try to pick up another starter item just to again go very aggressive in this lane.
We'll have to see. Both junglers going to be taking away the enemy red buff here as Karsa also goes for those chickens. He's going to force FoFo out of the side of the lane. Nice scatter the weak there at maximum range, but Karsa's not looking for the fight. He's looking to stop Aix getting away with this red buff, but he's too late to be able to deny that one. Did manage to get the chicken camp up on the invade, so I guess a one camp advantage at the end of the day.
Yeah, you do have the potential here, though, as Karsa to actually try and answer back by pushing in onto the opposite side, but it's not going to be the case anyway. Either way, nice start here, going through for the jungler of top esports.
Yeah, certainly, and if he goes towards this topside scuttle as well, depending how quickly Aix is able to clear his wolves, Aix is going to be in a bit of an awkward spot where his chickens aren't up. He is going to have to move straight down towards his bot side scuttle by the looks of things, so that he doesn't have to have this awkward pathing where he ends up losing out on both scuttle crabs, etc, etc. And look at this, 369 already just dominating the top lane matchup, as you would expect.
Look at Knight and Karsa. They want to force Cube off of this, and that's just the pressure Knight has created for himself in the mid lane. Karsa going back up towards his top side for the scuttle. Like, look at that massive wave that Cube has just been denied.
369 able to sweep up all of these minions. Cube is low level. He's not got that much health and tankiness just yet. 369 is happy to spar with him because he knows he's got Karsa just over the wall doing the krugs.
Cube
that was
is
a
3 CS.
Massive amount of minions. That was so much. He's 20 CS down, dude.
Yeah. Like,
oh, hang on, we gotta dive, though. JackeyLove is going to be a lot of CS down after this one, but they trade it 1 for 1. 369's TP'd in as well, because it's not like he needs any more top lane advantages.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, he can just back now. He's picked up this wave. Means that you're not losing a huge amount of experience to just nothing. So you will have him back. He can move up towards this top side as well. But, I mean, look at the difference. You're a Doran's Shield and a Rejuvenation Biscuit are versus actually a Cole picked up from 369. So he's just saying, look, we're happy to just farm this one out, and I'm going to just push this lane advantage as much as possible. I'm curious to see what the build is going to be from 369 though. Like, we've seen so many different builds. Like, you hang on, hold on to this point. There's a lot of flashes.
Goes for the stun there. I think it's just going to be not much of anything off the back of that one. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, so there's a lot of builds that are going on at the moment for top lane sets. Like, we've seen the Sunfire Aegis, we've seen the likes of the Stride Breakers, as JackeyLove and iBoy trading the bot side with JackeyLove having that level advantage. But I mean, even down, like, still going the likes of the Triforce build, like, I'm really curious as to what 369 is going to go. I feel like in this situation, just going full tank and Sunfire Aegis isn't the worst of idea. Although there is an argument as well to be made for something like a Stride Breaker, just to try and close that gap, get on towards iBoy, and just slow down, or at least give 369 the opportunity to get on towards that carry in the back line.
Yeah, and it kind of sets up the same way that we saw when preseason first started. We saw a lot of Prowler's Claw set, which was just so that you could guarantee that ultimate immediately. Stride Breaker does a similar thing, right, where you have that extra dash to be able to set yourself up for the ultimate. But it also actually has useful stats for Sett, because lethality Sett, I don't know, I'm not that convinced.
Yeah. Well, either way, oftentimes, like, regardless of the build, we start to see that Blade of the Rune King creep its way in. And especially as a first item here against something like an Ornn, it works super well. I mean, percentage health damage as always, but certainly since the change where rather than it being an active that grants the slow, your autos just proc a slow anyway. So you end up getting a huge amount of just lane pressure, and especially for Sett, you know, face breaker into a lot of auto attacks very, very quickly. You're able to keep the gap closed on your opponent and give Sett a lot of trading power in lane.
Yeah, and you can see Cube still really having a hard time up on the top side of the map. He is over 30 CS down currently. We are 6 minutes into the game. But there is a fairly similar lead in the bottom side, and Jgl wants to change that fact. Stun onto iBoy, flash forward from Karsa as they try and finish this kill off. No heal available, no flash available. The flash forward, and Karsa grabs the kill onto iBoy. Nicely done, and that'll shore up the weakness in this bottom side that we've seen from top esports.
And it's going to buy a little bit of space here for top as well. Like, JackeyLove was struggling to a certain extent in this lane. You can already see the 10 CS lead, but certainly with the kills and everything else going across, well, now you're actually unlocking Jgl from this bottom lane because JackeyLove isn't in as much trouble.
FoFo just about gets away with that one, having to use that Mimic to escape out of the range of Scatter the Weak dodge away from where the balls were placed on the floor. But all things considered, when you look at the gold in the game right now, it is a significant advantage for top esports. They have the 2 kills, but most importantly, they have that CS lead in the top side and in the jungle as well. And Cube actually getting pulled in here. 369 wants a little bit more on the back of this one. He is just not letting Cube anywhere near without a fight.
Yeah, Cube, unfortunately, not predicting correctly, but either way, coming back to your... Yeah. Look, he knows. Oh, hang on.
Hang on, Cube's doing some damage here. The Haymaker not quite going to finish anything off. There's a good knock-up. Cube doesn't have any mana, though, so no way to finish that one off.
But either way, at least trading nicely here. We'll back off, but Jgl, we talked about him being out of this bot side.
Every time you try and give me any color points, immediately someone postures for a fight.
Welcome to a top esports game. This is all that happens at all points in time, but... Look, either way, I want to come back into the point of the junglers specifically, because Aix is still level 5 to over level 7 of Karsa. This is all stemming from those early shenanigans around the clear path, where Karsa was able to steal away that bot side quadrant and now move in towards the top side. Like, this is what I wanted to see from Aix on the reverse side of this matchup in the last game, but this is what you should see from junglers that get these big advantages. You just snowball your leads so effectively, just 2-3 levels on your opponent when you're looking at that level 9 to level 11 mark, and there's just nothing you can do about it as the Vici jungler.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Karsa's going to be able to start this Rift Herald up. Did have a huge amount of priority in the mid lane. In the meantime, top esports are fighting 2v2 as an early game Ezreal against Misfortune. I don't think that's meant to happen, Dagda.
No, I mean... But both players have gone for the early tier buys, right? So, in theory, the way that this is supposed to work is Misfortune uses the make it rain, she pokes you down, you got the scorch, you're going for the comet, you're just whittling away at your opponent, but you're reliant heavily on this E to provide a large chunk of damage. However, because you've got JackeyLove, who's also started the tier, he's able to pick up that early Caulfield's Warhammer. When it comes to a straight up 1v1, well, I suppose 2v1 because Hung had left the lane, and iBoy's sitting on less than ideal health, it's just a really great call from Top Esports to realize, hey, look, we can go aggressive. And this is what we were talking about with Jgl, the ability to bring this aggression to the bottom lane, allowing JackeyLove to play his game, and this is where the bottom lane for Top Esports is leveled up.
It's good to see that confidence as well. While Karsa's on the opposite side of the map, that was all happening while they win on the top side. So Top Esports literally getting advantages at all corners of the globe at the same time. The CS lead still monumental in the top lane, and now Herald gets dropped in the mid lane to give Knight some extra gold as well.
This stems back again, though, to the fact that Aix is behind. Because when you're behind like this as Aix, you can't give time to your laners. Like, you are just forced to clear over and over to try and keep up with Karsa, which means that now the lanes are unlocked because they know if Aix is actually down in this bottom lane, if we escape, well, again, Aix is just set further behind. So this is why Top can play so aggressive.
Look at this. Everything used by Hung just to try and stop the engage from Jgl. It is going to work out in the end. Knight TPs for naught. Means that FoFo will be able to shove another wave in. And you can see that FoFo is starting to build a CS lead because Knight is trying to roam a lot more and affect these side waves. Aix and Cube, though, 1 2v1, 369, but he respects it and backs away.
We are seeing 369 though go for the Triforce build with the Hearthbound Axe, so it looks like we will be getting just like the actual pure damage version of Sett versus the utility or the Stridebreaker or the tank build with the Sunfire Aegis, and it very much lends itself to, okay, well, 369 more than likely playing through a side lane for a large portion of this game, and you're going to see if you can have Jgl play front line for the likes of Knight and JackeyLove to use this long range damage that the Ezreal and the Syndra offer. Whereas I think this kind of opens up a little bit more for Vici because you don't have a definitive front line oftentimes there with Top Esports. You can have, you know, flanks from FoFo come in, you can have Aix come in on the side as well. At least in the 4v4, you get a lot more wiggle room for Vici.
So we are getting towards the point where now it's a Drake apiece to start things off, but it's Top Esports obviously with a pretty significant gold lead. The fact that they have an Ezreal that's ahead in the bottom lane as well is pretty fantastic news for them. The fact that JackeyLove gets to have this pick that scales so well into the later stages of the game and also manages to get ahead in the lane phase, which has been a bit of a struggle for Top Esports, it has to be said, across this series. This is feeling like a very good game to be a Top Esports fan.
Definitely. And well, honestly, I think it's going to be a good year to be a Top Esports fan, but either way, specifically in this game, the only thing that you really have to watch out for is these one-item spikes that are coming in Vici's side. As okay, Knight will manage to flash away, but this is where you got to be careful. Is when you've got the likes of, well, look, Manamune obviously, but I mean the mythic item completion coming through for iBoy. When he gets the likes of that Eclipse be coming in alongside the Luden's Tempest coming in for FoFo, you're gonna have that Triforce coming in for Aix. Like, these are major item completions for these champions across the board that level up the champion essentially into a new breed. So when Vici do hit those breakpoints, they can try and fight against Top Esports. But for now, you can already see like Immortal Shield Bow complete on Karsa. He's just so far ahead of Aix that it's looking pretty grim, even trying to get to that breakpoint.
And one of the beautiful things about this, in fact, we'll come back to the build paths in a second here, because Cube is looking to build himself a way out of this play, and I don't think he's going to be able to find it. Stun comes on through, unstoppable power. 369 does have the haymaker. Oh, no way does he get away with that? How do they always get away with it?
How do you not take another tower shot? Like, I was convinced, it's like, alright, cool, he's not even going to flash, he knows he's dead, but what? How?
How is it every single play Top Esports make, I end up basically screeching into the mic because it's just unbelievable every single time. I don't know how they do it, Dagda.
Yeah, this is insane. So, 369 pops that ult a little bit too soon. He was trying to see if he could drag this Ornn out of tower range and set things up a little bit easier for Top, but with the Bellow's Breath, not quite able to do so. And that knockback from Aix actually saves 369 because he's able to then get the flash that knocks him out of the turret range. But yeah, I mean, absolutely insane that the Sett's able to survive. FoFo steals away the red buff very nicely, says thank you very much. That's payback for the rest of the series. Actually, looking towards Sett though, it is actually going to be the stride breaker that we see coming in from Sett. So still looking to be the big, have that slow, have that gap closer. So offering a lot more in these team fights versus what we're talking about with that Triforce.
Yeah, 369 definitely going to be a terror to deal with. The fact that he's 50 CS up in that top side as well is certainly going to help him out.
It's also the move speed that you get with this item is so nice for Sett.
Well, Hung basically flashes on the spot, but you know what? He's going to be okay. The Cloud Rift helping him out with the bit of movement speed there. Luckily for him, he is very tanky. I'm not sure if that was him finishing channeling a Hex flash or if that was him actually just flashing on the spot, but either way. FoFo gonna bait out the Q from so it has to be said. Alistar trying to pulverize when the target gets out of range of W always just looks hilarious.
Yeah. And it could be, I know this is like super specific, but it can be a little bit frustrating playing it on the blue side as well because the marker for where you can headbutt is slightly off on blue side, so it looks like you're able to headbutt, but you're actually not quite able to headbutt. But that's like a super like just weird thing for Alistar. But either way, look, I think it was more a protective one as well there, because if FoFo did go for the full burst combo, as usual, you don't have any sort of magic resist right now, so that could have been you going back to base, if not maybe dead with the amount of power that FoFo currently has.
Yeah, I mean, FoFo's been stacking up in this mid lane. Like, when you look at the CS, he's found himself an advantage there. He's heading towards the Luden's Tempest. So he, especially the fact that he has an XP advantage, his tower is going to go down as that's the second Herald to be used on that mid lane tower.
Oh, TP game. Coming in from top Esports, though. They're going real deep
This is
here.
Double TP as well. They really want to shut down iBoy. I don't know if they're going to be able to find him, though. 369 just CC'd up, finally gets his ult off, but he goes down. The bullet time is doing work as well, and Vici start this fight off beautifully. Pretty sure top Esports just have to run for the hills on this one.
Yeah, they weren't in a position to actually follow up. 369 goes way too deep under the tower, and Hung, just again, nice CC lock, and the rest of Vici are there to help. Every single time top Esports tried to make these very greedy plays, Vici do a great job of reading it and being in the area to turn it around.
And I just want to reiterate something we've been talking about earlier on today, and I think it's such an important point to bring up. Vici Gaming right now are actually matching up with top Esports. This is such a huge improvement from last year. Let's take another look at this clip though, because 369, he tried to get an iBoy, but nicely done there by Hung to deny it.
Yeah, I think the big thing for Vici here is just the decisiveness again and being able to turn around these plays. Like, this was consistent in their Suning matchup. It's been consistent here in top Esports. Their ability to turn around mistakes is so incredibly strong just because they're like, right, we're going, we've made the call, let's make this happen.
Yeah.
But it's still the proactive plays that are a little bit lacking. Now, it does bring the gold back to within a 2k reach for them, which is super nice for the Vici side of things. But again, look, top Esports, they're the ones that are dictating the play. Knight up in this top side, he's the one that's controlling this tower. They've already got the mid lane tower down, so again, they can push in towards this top side jungle, get vision control, and slowly start to creep these fights in favor of top Esports.
Karsa going to be able to get away there. I wasn't sure if he was going to get completely chunked out there, but yeah, top Esports finding these small advantages that they're able to turn them into larger advantages over the course of the game. But again, the point I was trying to make before, it was bad timing because I said it just as a replay came up, but if you'd said to me at the end of summer, oh, we're going to see Vici versus top Esports in playoffs, I would have been disappointed, you know, because I'd be like, oh, well, it's just going to be a blowout. Who cares, right? This version of Vici feels like such a stronger contender than last year. Knight and FoFo going at it a little bit. Neither of them quite has the damage to finish each other off. But I'm excited for what... To finish the point, I'm excited for what this Vici has in the tank for 2021.
Yeah, sorry, I was having a little bit of a laugh there just because of Knight tries to pop the honey fruit to get himself nice and healthy, and FoFo's like, thank you, I'll take that. Yeah. But either, like, I do agree. I think seeing this level of performance from Vici does fill me with a lot of confidence for them coming in towards spring, especially as they start to get better at working together and trying to iron out some of the kinks that are in their style of play. The coming back to the game though, I'm actually interested to see the Gale Force coming out from iBoy. I thought we would see the Eclipse and going towards this more lethality style of build, but looks like he does want that at least mobility coming through from the Gale Force when you see the likes of 369 with the Stride Breaker and the ability of Jgl to close that gap and get on top of the Vici AD carry.
Yeah, it's a little bit more burst damage as well with this Gale Force. You're able to just zip in alongside some of your other bursts. Karsa really wants this blue buff, and he's going to be able to get it for himself. So nicely done there. One of the nice things as well about the new AD carry mythic items, specifically for characters like Graves, the fact that you get to go attack speed while you're building your first item, but it also has the stats that you actually want and need, is amazing. Noon Quiver feels fantastic to build on AD carries.
I think it's also the flexibility. Like, as you said, look, Gale Force, you get the execution. Well, if you are in a situation as a Graves where you want to try and go for this more burst-orientated build, go the Gale Force, and you can one-shot a lot of the squishier members. If you're in a situation like this where you're not sure if you're going to be aggressed on, particularly with like a Divers, like FoFo and the likes, cool, go for the Immortal Shield Bow, get a bit more survivability, going towards the Bloodthirster, like become a pseudo tank with the build that you have. Like, there's just so much flexibility for Graves, which is why we see him so highly prioritized in drafts, is because it's just whatever the occasion needs, you've got a suit that fits.
And it's always good to have more than one suit as casters. We know all about that.
Definitely.
I have to say, Dagda, after how action-packed a lot of this series has been, 7 kills in 21 minutes, not really doing it for me. I have to say. I'll be totally honest with you here.
And unfortunately,
a bit more.
It's a Cloud Soul, and it's a Cloud Dragon in 40 seconds. I don't really see too much of a contention here. It actually looks like Vici are going to forego it completely, as you see multiple members up towards this top side. They want to instead crack open this top lane turret and try and get some gold just funneled into their composition, rather than actually looking at this dragon.
Top Esports trying to pressure onto a tier 2 in the mid lane here. Looks like they have positional advantage for this one, as it's just going to be iBoy with a nice positioning there for the bullet time, and FoFo punishes the play with the top lane tower. So actually really, really nice answer from Vici as they answer the push in the mid lane while taking something elsewhere.
Yeah. However, look at this bot side. I mean, you've got the shove put in. Top Esports potentially looking to group up, but Cube's able to deal with that wave beforehand. They can just fall back anyway towards this Cloud Dragon and pick that up for themselves. So at least answering up towards the 2 dragons of Vici. The thing is though, because you're now like basically handing these dragons back and forth, it's going to be a long time before we see something like the Elder coming into play. Yeah. So instead we're going to be looking towards Baron as the big objective on the map, and as we start to see these 2 items funneling through for the top esports side, with like the Luden's Echo actually opting for the Banshee's Veil, so a little bit more of a defensive start here for Knight, or at least this decision, sorry, for Knight. But you do have the Divine Syndra, the Manamune, or Muramana completed for JackeyLove. Like, they're at a really strong point. So if they can try and catch out members of Vici as they try to get control over this dragon area, it could work out super nice for top esports. But the issue is Vici, because they've foregone that early dragon control, they've actually got a heap of vision up towards this Baron area already, which is keeping them safe.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that point again where, like, even though it's not been a super action-packed game, all of the teleports are available except for Knights right now. Like, most of the summoner spells are available. Everyone's ults are available. If someone mispositions, instantly you're going to see 3 teleports on the minimap. You're going to see everyone just piling in, and suddenly we have a massive 5v5. Looks like that might be now, as Aix just has to use his ult to get out to safety. I maybe oversold that fight a little bit there, as it was just a jungler walking away. But expect the unexpected here is what I'm trying to say. FoFo tries to go for the steal but doesn't get it. Karsa got the red buff in the end, and now onto Cube they go. Good bit of damage coming on through. In goes Hung. But they can't really finish anything off here. Everyone's just out of reach. Nobody's really quite committing to the fight.
Yeah, Vici noticed that the Haymaker had just been used by 369, so they thought maybe we can go in and try and avoid a lot of that damage, or at least the shield that can come in from 369, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you can see top esports, you can put all that damage if you want to in towards the likes of the Sett or Jgl. They're perfectly happy to tank it up, and top esports bully back Vici and still get the tower.
I feel like this is going to upset some people, but I feel like this is actually the way that Top Esports plays the game. Like, when they need to play, this super slow, super steady, like, kind of just slowly but surely throttle your enemy out of the game. This is their actual style. The shenanigans, that's when they don't really feel like they need to try hard just yet. When they don't really feel like they need to respect their opponent. This is what Top Esports actually looks like when they're trying.
Yeah, and I'd agree. However, they don't have full vision control on this bot side. You can see FoFo's in a fantastic position to get on towards the likes of JackeyLove here.
Did Karsa get that? No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't. This is where it gets scary though, because this is where Top Esports, although they do play this very slow controlling style, sometimes do get baited into situations like this. And you can see Vici trying to dangle the card in front of them, seeing if they can draw them into the jungle, open up the opportunity for FoFo to get onto the backline. Particularly with Knight, off in these side lanes, he's the one that's consistently split pushing, which is surprising when you consider that 369 on this set could do it, but they're just trying to funnel so many resources in towards Knight, trying to see if he can be the big carry, because we've seen him on this Syndra can have these magnificent carry performances where that one scatter of the week completely changes the outcome of the game.
Yeah, we certainly can see that kind of performance out of players like Knight, and the same can be said for JackeyLove on this Ezreal. But we have also seen a little bit of Ezreal spotting with JackeyLove. He does like to E very aggressively, so we'll have to see which version of this Ezreal we get today. But he has been playing on FoFo. Like, even when he's been dying in these recent games, it's not really been like the world's performance from JackeyLove. It's been more the composition that we're seeing him against here. Vici trying to get a little bit of presence at all on the top side of the map, but 369 is making it very difficult to do that. FoFo has to move up and answer the top wave, but you were mentioning the vision control around Baron. It entirely belongs to Top Esports.
Yeah, and this is where it can be a little bit dicey now as Vici to try and get that control back. Like, you do have Cube, which it makes it alright because he can walk through, but you have to be so careful of Knight getting these multi-man stuns. And as you can see, like, Karsa, he's got his double lifesteal. He's totally fine to just solo out this Baron by himself as long as Top Esports can buy him space.
Karsa going full Master Yi with the Baron solo here. 369 goes in, but misses all of his CC there. Now he's going to be forced to try and leave the fight. Ornn ultimate just hits onto one. Karsa is going to be taken down. First kill of the fight going the way of iBoy. And now they're all stacked up for the bullet time, but they flash away. And everybody gets out somehow. It's a 1-for-1.
I have been so impressed with Cube at the start of these fights. Those Bellows breaths have been so crucial to shutting down 369 on these showstoppers. Like, every single time Karsa has, 369 has attempted to get that big play off, Cube has denied him. Now, it did deny the Call of the Forge God as well, because Jgl managed to knock him out, but Vici still pick up the team fight win as a result, and they get that dragon. And when you talked about the vision control that they were struggling to get over that Baron, it's all theirs now. But watch this again. So, Cube, Bellows Breath, doesn't get the knock-in by 369, and the damage that would have been just placed straight onto the backline of Vici is nullified. And they're able to now focus on towards Karsa, who overextends, thinking that 369 had found the play.
So importantly, 369 just TP'd towards the top side here to try and get the tier 2 tower. He's baited out FoFo somehow, but they're going to be joined by Aix. I think everybody just going to have to, both 369 and FoFo having to flash away. It is going to be TP for 2 TPs? No, Knight TP'd as well. Everybody TP'd while we're in the replay. Everybody flashed, but nobody dies.
And you can also see as well, JackeyLove and Karsa, they needed to back. Blade of the Rune King completed there for Jackie.
Hang on. Cube going to go for the knock-up here. On towards Jgl. Does not have his flash available. Going to have to go for the engage. Dodges away from the knock-up, actually. And he's somehow still alive. That was beautiful from Jgl. But JackeyLove has gone a little bit deep on this one. 369 trying to answer for that one. iBoy somehow survived this one and now gets the bullet time for free. But Knight is going huge in the backline. FoFo forced away. And somehow, I think Top Esports might just win this one. Jgl still surviving. Finally goes down as Cube will be taken out as the final casualty. It's a 3-for-3 after everything.
Yeah, top esports just about managing to eke out, at least from the health side of things, thanks to that hero play from 369, getting that massive showstopper straight in onto the back line, shuts down iBoy, and then FoFo being caught out in the mix by Knight as well, means that there's no real damage threats left once Aix goes down. So top esports at least get control of their wave. They will go even in the fight, but it just buys them a bit of breathing room. And Hung trying to get onto Knight here, but not quite able to do so. Jgl buying so much time as well. Like, the fact he managed to escape out of this is insane. But either way, like, look at iBoy here. Opens up on this side. JackeyLove goes straight over the wall to set up the play here for 369. And FoFo, because he's got that Banshee's Veil here, doesn't die to Knight, who flashes over the wall. But at least Knight then forces FoFo out. And with Aix dead, you've just no damage left. It's just two tanks that are sitting in the middle of top esports here.
Yeah, not really anything that Vici can do to finish that fight off. And if iBoy goes down to 369 there, maybe that's a really clean team fight for top esports and they can do Baron or something off the back of that. But he gets out within an inch of his life, gets to go for his bullet time as well across the whole team. So we are now starting to get towards the point in the game where Cube gets to start dishing out his upgrades as well. And they changed how Ornn's upgrades work a little bit. It's all mythic items now, but also importantly, Ornn gets a small, I believe it's like 4% of his resistance increased every time he upgrades an item. So instead of getting the massive spike of upgrading two of his own items at level 13, now it's a more gradual increase. So the longer this game goes on, the more value they get out of the Ornn pick on the side of Vici.
Yeah, exactly. And already you can see that Cube is very difficult to deal with in these fights, especially if JackeyLove ends up going on towards the back line, like onto iBoy. Cube is going to survive for so damn long. You're heavily reliant on Karsa to try and get through that health bar. And this is kind of where the likes of Knight are struggling a little bit in this game. Look, I say that he is 3-1 and 2, but as this game starts to go on, like, you've got Banshee's Veils coming through onto the likes of FoFo. He's pretty tanky. Trying to get the opportunity to get on towards iBoy. He's got the rapid fire cannon. He's got the bullet time as well. He'll be pretty far back. Like, it's really hard for Knight to find a target who he can burst out. So it's more going to be kind of a CC play coming through from Knight and trying to set up the rest of his team to carry in these fights.
Honestly, this game to me feels like it's going to be who can pick a carry early in a fight. Because 369 and Cube do not count as carries at this point. It's all about FoFo and iBoy and Knight and JackeyLove on either side. And if any of them gets picked off early, that might spell the entire fight for the rest of the team. But it's 8-7 right now. Gold is 3,000 apart, which at 32 minutes is not that crazy. FoFo manages to keep his Banshees there. If this Cloud Drake goes the way of top esports... we just get as late of an Elder Drake as it's possible.
I know.
With Drakes on cooldown.
The interesting thing is, like, looking at the speed that 369 has here, though, like, because he's gone for that Stride Breaker, which gives the increased move speed as the Mythic passive, and the Deadman's, like, he can catch people out pretty handily if he's able to just run around and maybe catch Vici off guard, but here we go.
We're not going to go just yet.
No, pretty not.
He's a tanky boy. And top esports just get a settle for a Cloud Drake because Vici trying to threaten on towards the Baron, but realistically I don't think that they can just run at that one. JackeyLove takes a bit of a hit from FoFo, but he's going to be over the moon now because that's a teensy little bit more ult CDR, so I'd say that's worth taking a hit from FoFo.
Vici have decided... Oh, sorry, go on ahead. I was just going to say Vici have taken control of the Baron area.
Yeah. We're going to see, like, you know, Knight, JackeyLove, they're going to be able to ult very, very often because they'll already be building ability haste in their kits anyway. Like, we're going to see incredibly low CDR on these engage tools as well from either side.
Definitely. The thing here, though, is, like, how much, at least from the JackeyLove's perspective, it's handy just because you can toss them out so often. But, from Knight's perspective, you're more trying to hold on to that for, like, key targets. It's not like you're going to get two of them off in a team fight. And oftentimes these fights end up happening where you're backing and your ult will be up anyway. So at least from JackeyLove's perspective, it helps with wave clear and trying to keep these side lanes in check. But it's not going to have a massive impact on this game. The bigger thing, I think, was just that you do see Vici at least getting some semblance of wards in towards this Baron area. Now, they've got them littered everywhere to just try and catch out top esports, because they've realized that at this stage, top esports are the ones that have to push pressure. Vici are going to have to cede control, but maybe they can hide a couple of these wards, as you can see, like over towards that honey fruit outside Baron pit.
All right, Dagda, our patience may be rewarded soon, because I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't get up at 4 AM to watch a farm fest. That's not what I'm about. But we are getting to the point in the game because just get comfortably out healing Baron's damage, but he can't out heal that. FoFo finally finds his opportunity on in. That is a huge window now. 50-second death timer on the jungler of top esports. Maybe now Vici can start to put their foot down in this game.
But this is again top esports just getting antsy. Like, you've got Karsa moving in there to get control of River when Knight is back in base. Yes, he gets the TP, but they're just not ready.
Nice flash from Knight there. Dodges away from the knockup, keeps himself safe. Does have the TPs available on both sides here. So, like, let's just bear in mind, this is top esports. Shenanigans are going to happen. There's no way they just give this up. So let's see as the 4v5 comes on in. Karsa's not going to be available for another 10 seconds. They're going straight on towards FoFo, but he gets out with his life. Flashes away. JackeyLove still surviving. Flashes to the back of the fight himself as Aix just about gets out with his life himself. Cube going to be tanking up for a long time. Vici juggling the aggro beautifully, and FoFo baits him out and gets the kill. iBoy survives again on 1 HP, but here's 369 to answer for the play. On towards Cube. Knight gets the kill in the end, but that's it. 2 kills? That's it? Are you kidding me?
369 still a showstopper and his flash, though, so you do have to be careful here as Vici. They will be able to back away, but yeah, after all that, there was just nothing. They couldn't finish off the low health members of Vici, and top esports, they've run out of the base. They're back in to control this Baron area. The dance will continue, Mr. Munchables.
iBoy with the 5 head. Everyone believes that he's going to run it down, but he's actually got a stopwatch. It's genius.
Yeah, you can see it here. So Jgl good engage onto FoFo to force him out, but as JackeyLove goes aggressive here, he's just ignoring the damage from Cube. This is where he arcane shifts in, thinking I can finish off iBoy, not expecting FoFo to be there. And there you go, stopwatch coming in beautifully, and a missed timing on that Dark Sphere from Knight means iBoy just about ekes out of there.
That was just, I mean, JackeyLove was like, call an ambulance, but not for me. FoFo jumps on it and just absolutely one-shots JackeyLove. It's so sad to see. Karsa, with his lifesteal build, is like, all right, well, let's just see if I can solo Baron, see if anyone notices. It turns out Vici have noticed. They're going to be coming on in here. Blast Cone available. Aix would be able to go over, but let's be honest, Aix hasn't been doing so hot on the smites so far in this series. 6,000 on the Baron as Jgl goes in, gets a double pulverize for himself, and he's tanky as well, so he can hold this fight going for a little while, but not much longer. Solar Flare doesn't get the stun in. Jgl still surviving, but Aix is going to trade his own life. 369! Only rolls 9s today. That was insane. Double kill for him, and that's surely the Baron for top.
That it was just the individual mechanics once again coming out from top esports. Jgl actually managing to headbutt Aix back into the team means that the onslaught of shadows had to be used defensively to escape. And then again, 369, the perfect flank setup, gets in with the showstopper, haymaker onto 3, and it's lights out for Vici.
And that he just obliterated the whole squad with that haymaker. Top esports, by the way, while they are doing Baron, are also going to try and grab themselves this Cloud Soul. FoFo wants to deny this one. Doesn't have vision, though, and he's going to be too late to the party. And now, actually, he doesn't have flash available as the Banshees fail. Definitely cannot threaten a kill onto 369. He's going to have to back away.
I was going to say, he's a LeBlanc. He'll be fine. But, Cube? No, might be in a bit of trouble.
He's not a LeBlanc. He's definitely not. So maybe he won't be fine. But Brittle does exist. Oh, that was a little bit too close for comfort. Now Knight has to try and get away because FoFo is going to be chasing him down. The Banshees means Scatter the Weak cannot be used first. Knight has to play this perfectly if he wants to survive. Gets rid of the Banshees. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana to work with here. In fact, he has absolutely no mana to work with, but he's still dodging, ducking, and dipping and diving. Maybe he can get an execute. This would be insane if he goes. Scatter the Weak goes out. The Solar Flare is there. And in the end, it's a solo kill for Hung.
I mean, you take them. You got the flash out of the support. You give the kill over to the support. Like, that's a big win. Only thing is, though, obviously 50 seconds now until he's back up. But with no real objectives, you should be fine to keep pushing here as top esports.
Knight is just unbelievable, man. Every time he just manages to pull these shenanigans out of the bag. And mid lane inhibitor now for top esports. With the Baron, they could maybe threaten the tier 2 on the bottom side as well, but maybe just need to reset since Knight's not available. But in 30 seconds, that TP's up.
Yeah, they do have to be careful, though. I mean, you've got God of the Forge God here for Cube. Could essentially start off a fight if he wanted to, but if they do the right call, it's just leave JackeyLove here. He's got enough escapes that he'll be fine with the Arcane Shift and also with the Flash just nearly up and available. So managed to get that bot lane turret, and again, out of what was looking like a pretty even game for a large portion of this, top esports find the fight, and now they've got a 5k gold lead.
And do you know what, Dag? I feel like our patience is being rewarded because these team fights are nutty. We had to wait so long before we got to the team fights, but now we get these 5v5 brawls. Knight, by the way, has himself that death cap as well as the mage eyes. He is doing insane amounts of damage. He is full build at this point. Same can be said for FoFo, except FoFo has not upgraded that Dark Seal. But with this Baron buff, top esports are taking everything off of the side of the map. It's just 2 inhibs remaining.
Yeah, I'd love to see them have someone down on this bot side to see if they can push that in and just spread that Baron buff around, but
oh, FoFo with an attempt there, but Karsa goes over the wall to try and punish the enemy mid laner. QSSs and flashes on out. FoFo is removed from the play though. Cube barely has any HP. This is... oh, the true shot! Oh no! Robbed! Completely robbed!
That was so close. I assumed one of them was going to die. It doesn't even get a single person. At least now, look, top esports, another inhib goes down, and it's only a single one remaining. It does feel at this stage like Vici, the coffin is slowly closing.
Man, I just feel bad for JackeyLove. He's still on 0 kills. He's got iBoy to 1 HP like 7 times this game. And then that True Shot Barrage that almost kills 2 people but doesn't finish either of them. The guy just can't get a kill. I'm going to laugh so hard if he finishes the game on 0 kills. That would just be the icing on the cake at the end of this one. Cube now. He's been caught out of position. I think that might just be game.
Look, you caught it. JackeyLove gets his kill. This is going to be 369 running in. It does feel like this is the last one.
Here we go. Stun onto Hung. Facebreaker as well. And this one's going to be the victory lap at the end of everything. It's 2-1 on the scoreboard. Vici have one last fight in them. 4 versus 5 here to try and hold onto the series. In goes Ike, but JackeyLove sidesteps the ult. FoFo trying to one-shot. Can't finish off the AD carry, though. And that was the attempt. That was the one last chance that Vici had. And now top esports, they'll be able to push in towards these Nexus towers. Another kill for JackeyLove. He finally gets a couple as this game ends. Flashes away from FoFo as he is just styling on him now. FoFo even using the IG skin that JackeyLove earned with the LeBlanc skin there. But that is going to be the game and the series for top esports.
And although it looked like Vici definitely had some fight in them more than see the capitalization on it, I think once you start to see this team again kind of work together over the course of spring and we start to push towards spring playoffs, maybe we could see this Vici Gaming being a roster that you should be rightfully terrified of. However, I am very much terrified of top esports. It feels like with Joe coming into this roster, their team fighting is leveled up with support who's more than capable of having those mechanical plays that can push top esports over the edge, but also just the confidence to go for these engages, consistently